everyone, welcome back to the channel. At the time this video was released, I am currently on a plane traveling on vacation. So if there is any news, then I most likely will not be covering it during the next week, and will cover it when I get back. If episode 16 has been released by this point, I will most likely not be reviewing it until I return, and chances are low that I will be reviewing it while I'm on vacation. But anyways, for this video, I'm reviewing episode 15, A Cold Goodbye. Despite Pixel saying that she's always wondered what it's like to dream in episode 37, the episode starts out with Pixel dreaming about what happened in the previous episode, and the ninja come in and try to comfort her. Then Wu reveals that Zane is still alive and discusses the Never Realm, which is the most distant and dangerous of all 16 realms. He is preparing to go to the Never Realm, but he won't let the ninja come with them. So Lloyd tries to steal the Traveler's Tea from him and succeeds in doing so. However, when they are getting ready to go, Wu stops them with the Scroll of Forbidden Spijitzu, and a huge fight breaks out. But the ninja gag Wu, that's right, they tie him up and gag him, and Pixel banishes them to the Netherrealm, but Wu reveals that they won't be able to come back. Seeing Wu doing Forbidden Spinjitzu was really cool, and it was kind of scary as well, seeing how the scroll was kind of affecting him, making him more aggressive, and that fight for the most part was done very well. I love how this episode was basically another version of the first episode of the season, although much better in every way. The fight was a lot better, and we get to see how the ninja have changed over the season and improved as fighters. They're not really as lazy anymore. I enjoyed learning about the Never Realm too, and it's always great that we are getting to learn more about the unknown realms, and that the Never Realm was basically this dangerous place. So I really like that we are getting more of the realms. And you can kind of understand both perspectives too. For instance, you can understand why Wu didn't want the ninja to come with him. He already felt immense guilt for what had happened to Zane, but you can also understand why the ninja wanted to come too. So I feel like in that sense, it was great because you could understand both of the perspectives. I'm glad that, unlike all the other ninja, Pixel did get a moment to show that she was affected by Zane's loss, which brings us into the bad parts of this episode. This episode is one of the reasons why I really do not like the 11-minute format. Why don't we see the ninja's reactions to Zane's death at all? I mean, the last time this happened, they were deeply affected by it. It nearly drove the team apart. This time, though, they don't really seem to care at all. We only see reactions from Wu in the previous episode and Pixel in this episode, which is better than nothing, I suppose, but why don't the ninjas seem to care? And the answer is the 11-minute format. It's not giving enough time to show the ninjas' reactions and develop them further. Part of the big problem is that the writers don't know how to budget the time correctly, and so instead of seeing the ninjas' reactions to Zane's death, we instead get to see a wonderful part where Lloyd tries to steal the Traveler's Tea. And I suppose it could have been worse, but this in itself wasn't the best thing ever. I would have much preferred to have seen the ninja sad and reacting to Zane's death, rather than just the whole, we all were affected by him again. I mean, how Tournament of Elements does it is absolutely genius. It's much more than just, we will be affected by his loss. So, I mean, honestly, it was pretty lame how they couldn't even bother to try and show the ninjas' reactions. Now, another big problem with this episode is the fact that they actually gag and tie up Wu, and trying to force an emotional response from the audience. I mean, going so far as to tie up Wu, that's pretty extreme, and not to mention taking the ninja out of character as well. They obey Wu, and just doing this is really disrespectful to Wu, and like I said, you could understand both perspectives, but this simply was way too extreme. I don't really know if there was another way to do it, but this just was kind of forcing an emotional response from the audience, and I personally didn't really feel that sad seeing the scene. Also, why is Pixel able to banish the ninja to the Netherrealm if she doesn't even have powers? I mean, isn't the plot convenience spell only something that Asphira could do? Although then again, that's why it's called the plot convenience spell, because Pixel was able to use it in this episode as well. The biggest issue with this episode is it focuses on stuff that does not need focus at the expense of stuff that does need focus. And that, of course, would be completely ignoring the fact that the ninja should be grieving over Zane's death. Since I've already went on and on about how Zane's death should have been focused on, I won't talk about this again. I will say, though, I like the Forbidden Spinjitzu fight, although the one thing that really bothers me is, aside from the gagging, but just something about the fight that bothers me, is that Wu was defeated with ninja stars. I mean, what the heck? He's so powerful, he has the Scroll of Forbidden Spinjitzu. Why was it that easy to defeat him? Part of the big problem with this episode is that stuff just feels really forced and for the sake of plot convenience. Like Pixel being able to use the plot convenience staff, and I mean, that's why it has its name, I guess. That's why it has that name that I gave it. And then, of course, Wu just being gagged up right away and defeated so easily when he has the scroll in his hand. That was a major problem. Now, talking about characters, I feel Pixel was a good character in this episode because she actually did show her grief and that she did care. Wu was pretty good in this episode too, and I loved that he was really scary when he had the Forbidden Scroll, so I liked that too. The ninja were just kind of irrational themselves as well, so I don't know if I would really say that they stood out in a good way. And talking about action, again, the fight was really good, aside from Lloyd using ninja stars to defeat Wu. And the emotion was really forced at the end of this episode. I mean, gagging up Wu just to force an emotional response from the audience. And the beginning of the episode with Pixel's reaction, I will say, was genuinely emotional. In the end, this episode was mediocre at best, and I'm going to give it a 6.75 out of 10. This episode, I will say, was a great setup for the Ice chapter, and it was a nice aftermath episode for episode 14 too. However, it had a lot of problems when it comes to focus and just forcing a lot of stuff, whether it comes to action or emotion. So all in all, it was a pretty mediocre ending to a mediocre chapter. Thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, share with anyone ever you know, and let me know what you thought of episode 15, A Cold Goodbye. Once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.